Replacing even small amounts of red meat in your diet with plant foods may lower your risk of colorectal cancer. This new study included over 40,000 participants from 5 Finnish cohorts who were followed for a median of about 29 years. The researchers conducted a substitution analysis and found that substituting 100 grams or about 3.5 ounces of red meat per week with fruits, vegetables, or a mix of whole grains, fruits, and vegetables was associated with a 3% reduction in the risk of colorectal cancer, while replacing 50 grams of processed meat with fruits or vegetables was associated with a 1% reduction in risk. Those numbers might sound small, but keep in mind we're talking about a single serving per week. In fact, when replacing 2 servings per week, they found that the benefits of replacing red meat roughly doubled, while the benefits of replacing processed meat roughly quadrupled. Now, the substitution of red meat for whole grains was not significantly associated with lower risk, but when they isolated the analysis to just those consuming less than about 600 grams of whole grains per week, then substituting 100 grams of red meat or 50 grams of processed meat with whole grains was associated with an 8% reduction in risk and 4% reduction in risk, respectively. So those with lower whole grain intakes to begin with may have more to gain by making that substitution. They didn't conduct a substitution analysis for legumes because most people consumed very little, like less than a serving a week. But surprisingly, those who did consume 100 grams per week actually had a higher risk of colorectal cancer compared to those who didn't consume any. This is at odds with a prior meta-analysis suggesting that legume consumption does lower risk of colorectal cancer. And the researchers suspect that the findings from the new study are due to legumes commonly being consumed alongside red meat in Finland, and that wasn't considered in their adjustment models. So these results should be interpreted very cautiously, and the overall balance of evidence actually points towards legumes lowering risk of colorectal cancer. So I'd like to see further research teasing out how different substitutions could impact risk, especially when it comes to higher protein plant foods, which are often recommended in place of meat. Plus, it'd be great to identify which components are responsible for these benefits because it doesn't seem to just be the added fiber. Since prior research has shown that replacing red meat protein with plant protein can lower the risk of colorectal cancer even after adjusting for fiber.